Wow. Welcome to Metatron's Academy. I need to stop with those filters. Hello, noble ones. Welcome to Metatron's Academy. So I was just browsing through the wild, and then I saw this. Learning languages ruined my life. 9.4 million views from 4 years ago. I'm curious. I want to watch it. I don't know. It's probably comedy, to be honest. That's what I'm expecting. But let's go.
In summer 2015, when I was walking by Magus Books, my favorite bookstore in Seattle, at 3 o'clock in the morning, my eyes were immediately caught by the title of a book and the yellow glim behind the window. So I went there the next morning, bought it, and read it. The book is probably not the best collection of essays I've ever read, but the title has since then stayed with me. The Moral Obligation to be Intelligent. What does that have to do with learning languages? Does speaking foreign languages make you more intelligent? It depends. Is the ability to speak another language part of intelligence?
Sure.
Not necessarily.
I think sure.
But being intelligent and knowing foreign languages do share one thing in common. They're both painful. And by painful, I don't mean the ennui of tediously long lectures or vocabulary and grammatical studies, or the expense of time for the pursuit of wisdom and knowledge, nor even the loneliness your dedication to the endeavor could bring up on you. The pain, the true torment, is the confusion.
Very poetic. I wasn't exactly expecting this, but hey, I'm cool with it. Interesting. So, very highly scripted video, but the message seems interesting. So let's let it play and let's see what else he's going to teach us.
The bigger the circle of the known, the greater the contact with the unknown. And the more firmly unlearned beliefs used to stand, the more helplessly your new identity totters. If you're lucky enough to study Farsi, you may realize that not all the beautiful poetry is written in your mother tongue.
Of course.
The Persian epics written in the Sassanid Empire are as beautiful as poems of the Tang dynasty.
Okay, yeah, I love that. Any connection to the ancient anything, really, I find fascinating, obviously. Maybe we could do a little bit of translation on the channel to incorporate those areas that are the most difficult to translate, some of which are, of course, poetry that he's bringing up. And I think one of the things he's probably going to say is the fact that oftentimes in translation, you lose a lot of the poetic element, and sometimes the symbolism as well is lost unless you have like a phenomenal translator. And even then, you give 10 translators the same work and they will provide 10 different works. So translation is a choice. And oftentimes it's not a matter of the right choice, it's just a choice, and you have to see, it's a personal preference. It is, which is why enjoying any form of literature, not just poetry, any form of literature in the original language really is the best way to approach it. And I've seen this with Shakespeare. Reading it in English is completely different from the way I was sometimes reading it back in Italy in translation. Likewise, if you read Dante's Inferno, so L'Inferno, La Divina Commedia by Dante Alighieri, and you read it in medieval Italian, it is just a completely different trip, let me tell you. Would you be interested in that? Let me know.
If you happen to study Spanish, you may realize that what you thought so unique an aspect of your culture has a similar counterpart in another culture. That the Puerto Rican morcilla is almost identical with the Korean sundae. If Russian is your language, you may realize that not all the important battles that changed the course of human history were fought on your native land.
Of course.
That the Russian defeat of the Golden Horde at the field of Kulikova is no less significant than the reconquest of Granada in Spain. Can't you do this by reading history? One may ask. Yes, but history written by whom? And for whom? Because you see, after learning a language, if you care enough, part of you becomes the member of the tribe to which the language belongs. And that cultural schizophrenia can be truly excruciating. That pain, however, can't be easily offset by the better chances of employment in your job market.
So strange, this part. Again, I understand it's a highly scripted, highly produced, slightly poetic, I imagine, essay. One of those, I wasn't expecting this, but it's one of those motivational speeches, if you will. I've studied so many languages in my life. Never felt like pain, not even once. Maybe for him, I'm not saying that his feelings or that his experience is not valid. I'm just saying it's probably personal. So it doesn't reflect. It is not a general statement of fact. It is a personal, subjective experience, which is communicating to us, and we appreciate because we can learn through his perspective. But to me, non-applicable completely. I loved every second of language learning. If anything, the job market thing is the most sterile aspect of language learning, of the language learning or foreign language acquisition journey. Anything else, communication, experience, success, learning, like whenever you go to Japan, you speak the language, you actually enter inside the culture and experience it from inside. That's the reward. The job, it's good because we need money, but definitely not. That is the sterile aspect of it. It's a good reward, but it's the least intellectually satisfying, at least for me. Let me know if you are more like me or more like him.
Or the simple pleasures of imprisoning your friends at the dinner table with political intrigues and historical anecdotes played out in 5 different languages.
Fun.
Why then would anyone who is not a crazy masochist want to learn a foreign language?
It's masochist, isn't it? Again, it's not masochistic. It's fun. It's because it's fun. It's not a pain. The only pain is when you apply yourself incorrectly. So you're struggling, you're facing several plateaus, but that's a technique problem. So the reason why it's feeling painful, and it's like, gosh, I don't want to do it. I have to sit down and learn all these pages and I can't remember them and it's frustrating. That's not because it's a necessary element of language learning. I haven't experienced it once. It's because you're not doing it the right way. As simple as that.
Yes, to communicate with people. Yes, to travel to different places.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yes, to advance your career in a globalized world. Yes, it is good for your brain.
Yeah.
But more importantly, as potentially excruciating as it is for those curious enough to see the world as it is, and those brave enough to tear down the veils of bigotry, instead of comfortably hiding behind the linguistic barrier.
What veils of bigotry? It feels like out of place. If someone clicked this, because you have to understand your audience. If someone clicked it, like me, like probably a lot of people who clicked this, how many million views? These are people who are interested in learning foreign languages. Hence, why are you telling us about bigotry? What bigotry? I'm not against speaking about bigotry, but put it in the context of bigotry. So you could tell me, hey, there's this negative things that happens, and this is just whatever the heck. I mean, I probably wouldn't have clicked that because I would have found it boring. There are no veils of... What are you on about with veils? Goodness gracious, come on.
And refusing to step forward and know your fellow human beings, or even the so-called enemies. I am by no means accusing those not fond of foreign languages of being cowards. If anything, they have to be forever more on their guard of the bigotries, the fatuities, and the language barrier, and constantly seek more reliable sources of information.
Okay, so this is a completely different message then to what I was expecting. I was here to hear the valid perspective of a fellow language learner who is passionate about other cultures, other languages. Nothing wrong with having favorites, by the way. We are all attracted for our own reasons to different languages. I love Japan. I love Japanese culture and languages. I love Mandarin Chinese. I love English, which is one of the first languages I picked up. I'm interested in other European languages. There are a lot. It's very like Greek is a language I'm interested in. But maybe you love frigging, I don't know, you want to learn the language spoken by the Maori. More power to you. And maybe another one of you watching this is instead only interested in African languages. And another one is like, no, I want to learn freaking French because that's what I like. Nothing wrong. There's no veil of bigotry. It's personal interest. Of course, there are people that, oh no, I think that whatever the heck, I don't know, what is this even about? Of course, there are people that don't want to learn anything about cultures that aren't their own. But they're not going to click a video about language learning, are they? So, I mean, within the language learning community, I think, yeah, we're interested in the languages we're interested in because we want to open our mind and learn how people communicate in a different culture. Where the hell is this bigotry? Who is this for?
Indeed, the pursuit of knowledge is almost by definition a sort of masochism. And language learning is no exception.
I disagree.
But in such pain, and perhaps only in such pain, can we...
No matter where you are from, we are glad you
We
are our neighbor,
overcome
he says.
misunderstandings, bridge cultures and civilizations, and find a world of peace and prosperity.
All right, well, different video, well, whatever. He's free to share whatever he feels appropriate. It's your freedom, mate. But it felt like, you know what this felt like? It felt like, hey, I want to push this idea. How am I going to mask it for language learning? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, hey, language learning is a pain. Even that, I mean, even before we went into whatever the heck this was, why is language a struggle? Why is it masochism? There's no masochism at all involved in life. It's all about passion and love and interest and fun. It is. Like, and if any of you tells me, no, you're supposed to struggle. No, you're not. I'm telling you, I picked up 6 languages. And yeah, I had a great time. I had a fantastic time. So it's just a matter of having fun and doing it right and learning the correct manner and being followed by the proper procedure and everything else. And remember to have fun once again. It's not supposed to be pain. It's not supposed to be a struggle. If it was for you, I'm sorry to hear that. And again, if that's how it feels to you, you still, I imagine, reached to some decent levels in several languages, or so you claim. So it worked for you. More power to you. But this is what it was. Like, it started as language is a pain. It's terrible, but it's worth it because job opportunities, and so you're not a bigot. What a waste of time. Sorry, guys, I'm blunt. I just tell it how it is. I speak my mind. And feel free to, maybe you disagree, maybe you'll, no, I thought it was a beautiful message and a gorgeous video and it was pertinent all the way through. Great, the world is different and we all experience it differently. So for you, this was a phenomenal video. Subscribe to him, give him a like, and don't give me a like. And I respect your freedom. But for me, it was a complete waste of time. Anyways, thank you for watching. Don't be a bigot. Stop learning those languages, don't be a bigot.